On this Amie Harwick case, since we were just covering this, why is the defense not presenting a case? I mean, wow. How often does that happen?
It happens more often than you think, because all the burden is on us, the prosecutors, to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. And if you don't have much evidence, then the next best thing is to put your own client on the stand. And they don't want this guy anywhere near the stand. They don't really have any evidence in their defense. So they just think that with their cross-examination, they were able to punch enough holes in the state's case that they could get a hung jury, perhaps just one juror with some reasonable doubt. But I don't think it's going to go well for them.
Yeah, Dave, if you break into somebody's house, even if you want to believe and buy his story that he was there to commit suicide in the most unusual way ever, I've ever heard, which is to inject yourself with a syringe of nicotine, something that is untraceable and would not be picked up at an autopsy, by the way. Even if you buy that argument, if she's running from you because you've broken into her house and you're freaking out and threatening to kill yourself, and she falls off the balcony, aren't you still responsible for her death?
Well, he's trying to get a lesser charge. So he wants to get convicted of a lesser crime. He's admitting that he was there and he just wanted to talk to her and he was going to commit suicide. And then she ran off the balcony, which of course doesn't explain why she had strangulation marks around her neck or why she had his DNA under her fingernails.
Right.
So his story doesn't make sense, but he thinks maybe he convinced one juror that he was just a suicidal, love-struck sap.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, and that they'll convict him on the lesser charge.
Correct.
And he'll serve less time. All right. What do you make of Murdaugh pleading guilty for my son Buster and, to do right by my clients?
Guy's a con man. I don't believe anything he says.
Really?
I don't believe anything he says.
Maybe he's seen the light.
What's interesting to me is that he is still contesting the judgment with his housekeeper, Gloria Satterfield, who died mysteriously. So he's
She fell on his front steps.
Right. So he doesn't want to admit to that and to pay that out. Like he's fighting that. Why? If he thinks he's going to spend the rest of his life in prison, why fight that, right? Why not just give in to that? So that makes me wonder what he's really up to. But bottom line is this. He's always wanted to acknowledge that he was a fraudster, a white-collar criminal, but not a killer of his own son and his wife. He thinks that's a lower form of life in society and in prison, mind you. So he's going to take the first, hopefully that people will forget the next, and maybe in his mind, he can get a new trial, which may happen because of the clerk's alleged conduct in his case.
Brian Enton was on our show, and he had a theory that he's hoping that his murder convictions will be overturned with these allegations of jury tampering that there is an investigation into right now. And that if his murder convictions are in fact overturned and he's acquitted on retrial, that he'll serve his sentence at Club Fed because it's a white-collar crime.
I wouldn't put anything past him. He's a calculated
dude. Could he
dude.
really be thinking like that three-dimensional chess?
Well, he's not going to serve anything at Club Fed, wherever that is. I haven't seen a really delightful prison anywhere, but if there is one, he's not going there.
You're sure?
No, this guy's the worst of the worst. The way he murdered his family, and even if it's eventually overturned, which, look, I do think that it's a good chance he'll get a new trial, but I think he'll be found guilty again because of the overwhelming evidence against him. But even if that doesn't go, he's still got so many years because of white-collar fraud, and the judge knows about everything else he's allegedly done. They're not going to give him some country club prison.
Okay, Dave Aronberg, thanks so much for being here and lending us your legal expertise.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.